pretty epic picnic spot, and I've got my classic meal deal. Can't go wrong. I look like a very nerdy scout camper, but you joined me at the bottom of Arthur's Seat. So I was intending on doing this last night, but considering I was so exhausted, so fatigued, had very minimal sleep the night before, like about 2 hours of disrupted sleep because of the timing of my transport, it wasn't going to happen last night. But I did have such a lovely evening. We went over to the viewpoint over there, met a lovely guy, ended up just watching sunset, and it was pretty magnificent. The visibility was so incredible last night, which is why I'm slightly gutted about this, but hopefully it's going to clear up as I get higher. You know, the visibility was absolutely gorgeous, so hopefully I do still get some good shots and good viewpoints when I get up to the top. But yeah, last night was my first night ever in a hostel, and it's probably the most plush hostel that I will ever experience. So I've got my own little section, my own little pod, which didn't overheat, thankfully. I was concerned that because of the heat and that very small, cramped, claustrophobic space that I just sweat myself into a puddle, but it was actually fine. But we've got our own private toilets, we've got our own, like, I feel quite safe and quite private and quite, I feel good. So that was good, and you know, there's breakfast included. I mean, breakfast is literally just cornflakes and yogurt, but it's something at least. And yeah, I've just got up nice and early, and now hopefully we'll get a nice viewpoint from the top, some fresh air, because I need that, because I'm still tired. I still need to recharge my batteries. But yeah, hopefully this will get me in a good headspace. The sun is trying to come out. Yay! Tell you what, this is a good time to come, because if I was here in about 2 hours time, I think the heat would have increased to a point that's just not healthy to do a hike in. Look at that. I swear I'm just the happiest on mountains and viewpoints and sunshine and nature. Not bad. Time, nobody else is here, but it's just so peaceful, other than those sirens. Look. Oh, if only I could live so close to a mountain like this, my mental health would be so phenomenal. It's just good. It's just good for the soul. Oh, I'm very, very easily pleased. Put me on a mountain and we're a good one. Hello. It is now much later in the evening. I have just found a pocket of sun there. I'm actually in the Greyfields graveyard, but I'm waiting for my baby sister to call me back. She's the biggest Harry Potter fan, and Tom Riddle's graveyard is just over there apparently. So I'm waiting for a call back from Samantha to see if we can go find it together. There's a big queue of people. I'm sure they've gone to find it as well. So this morning I spent some time in the museum, just taking it nice and slowly, and yeah, for the rest of the afternoon I've literally just been wandering around aimlessly with nothing much on the agenda. But I am slowly making my way towards the Royal Botanic Gardens because apparently it's very, very beautiful. And fortunately we've been blessed with yet another gorgeous day. Initially at the start of the day I thought I'd have to get my jumper out, but now the blue skies are back out. So yeah, it's making everything look very, very pretty. Found myself a little bench. You know, it's weird not vlogging with my sunglasses on. I promise I do have a face. I feel like because it's so sunny, but also because I don't wear makeup, I just hide myself in my glasses. And they're also prescription, so I kind of need them to see. But I'm just sat on a little bench in a park. That's my view. It's just some simple, easy moments like this is where I kind of optimize and flourish. And the more that I travel, the more that I explore, the more that I kind of dip my toes into deep ends, the more that I put myself into unpredictable circumstances, or, you know, even if it's just like a situation or if it's just a place and a location, I'm figuring out what I really love and what I genuinely enjoy and what brings me that authentic, intrinsic happiness, all the terminology from my psychology modules here. And it's greenery and scenery and mountains and hills. Guys, just listen. Bloody lovely. I think I'm going to aimlessly explore a little bit more, find a little cafe and do some journaling, because I do like to document my travels. And I do it in such detail as well that it's a proper commitment, it's a proper time commitment that I put into journaling. But it's the intricate details and the intricate little moments, or something that is so poignant but something that I probably would end up forgetting further down the line, that I'm able to write down, that I'm able to document, so when I read back it kind of brings such more of a vivid memory. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that, find a lovely spot to get an Americano, bin man, and yeah, just document the weird and wonderful times I've had in Edinburgh. Definitely not been as crazy as my Italian experiences, but that was going to happen, that was inevitable. But it's just been really nice and slow paced, going to cafes, going to beautiful places like this, having lovely walks, beautiful scenery, beautiful architecture. I just think I needed it for my soul, just to kind of breathe in just some fresh air and explore a new area. And it's been relatively inexpensive. You know, again, I'll push on and I'll say on repeat, you don't need to spend a fortune to have wonderful experiences. You don't need to, you know, spend so much money for the sake of enjoyment, because as long as you have the perspective, as long as you have the mindset, as long as you can appreciate the really meaningful yet small moments, you can have a great time. as long as you appreciate it, as long as you recognise it, as long as you really are present in the moment, you can just enjoy it, you know? It's all the wholesome, wonderful, good things. And just like that, we are back in Cardiff. I didn't really film the last 2 days when I was in Edinburgh. I did actually, but they were more so B-roll shots. I went on a nice long run, ended up being a bit of a tour, around Edinburgh and seeing the spots that I hadn't seen previously. And then actually I ended up going on a pub crawl with the hostel that I was staying in. So I was staying in the kick-ass Grassmarket hostel, and as I briefly mentioned, it was actually the first hostel that I've ever stayed in. And considering this Edinburgh trip was extremely spontaneous, extremely last minute, basically I had just come back from Italy and I'd just been craving and itching going travelling again. Coming back to Cardiff made me feel kind of depressed is probably a strong word, but I had significant withdrawal symptoms, let's say that. So I wanted to pop back out and just explore more cities. But yeah, the intention was to try a hostel for the first time. So then when I do eventually go backpacking around Europe again in the near future, I will feel more comfortable going to hostels and knowing that I've had a bit of experience. Granted, this was an extremely plush one. You know, I had my own privacy, I had my own pod. There was, you know, individualized toilets and shower rooms. It was very safe. I felt very comfortable, and in all fairness, I give myself a good pat on the back for that because, you know, I feel quite protective over my personal space and feel like I need to feel comfortable and safe, and I felt very good there. But yeah, on the last night that I was staying, they were having a pub crawl. I don't drink, but I didn't really get the opportunity to meet other people in the hostel from the previous nights just because everyone was so quiet and so reserved and so, I don't know, with themselves, and a lot of people were in pairs as well. So I didn't really have the opportunity prior to this night to kind of meet people. So I thought, you know what, I'll just go down, see if there's any good people that I can meet. And yeah, I ended up going around for a little bit. I didn't stay for that long because I was on the lime sodas, and it gets to a point where drunk happy turns to sloppy, and then that's when I get going. But no, in all fairness, I had a really good experience as my first hostel. You do have to be a bit more organised, you do have to be a little bit more strategic as to how you're packing. And yeah, again, it was just another thing to test my perceived comfort zones. And this is, I guess, what I've been doing for the past 2 or 3 months, you know, actionably putting myself in environments where I know my anxiety will be tested, just so I know that I can do these things. And subsequently, I feel like in my own personal life, I can take those lessons that I've taken from traveling and know that I can push myself, know that I am capable of these things, know that, you know, those anxiety thoughts, those anxious thoughts, those moments of overwhelm, those moments of overriding panic sometimes are irrational, and we can work through them, or we can navigate. So yeah, it was just another lovely solo traveling experience of just exploring, of wandering, of doing something independently, you know, making memories, growing as a person, all that cheesy crap. But yeah, these past few months have been pretty remarkable. So yeah, here's hoping that this has just inspired this newfound confidence within me to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone, push myself into trying and testing different things, and I don't know, living, you know, I've not lived enough, and now is about time. Which could just be an excuse for me to say that Skyscanner is now probably a character trait more than just an open tab on my phone and my laptop. So it's an expensive hobby, but I'm enjoying it. So Yeah.